Hello, everyone. I'm Kibin Alleyne, and today is Tuesday, February 21st, and you are now watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. Don't forget to stay connected with us via social media at BronxNet TV. With a mission to prioritize kindness across the country, organization Nextdoor helps build connections with those nearby. Their most recent effort celebrates National Random Acts of Kindness Day and caring for your neighbors. We got a chance to speak with Nextdoor ambassador and lifestyle expert Meaghan B. Murphy to discuss how we can practice neighbor care. Let's take a look. Hi, Meaghan. Thank you so much for joining us to discuss this topic.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I want to start off just talking a little bit about yourself. I know that you're an ambassador for Nextdoor. Can you just tell me, how that started, and can you talk a little bit about the organization and the work that they do?
Sure. So I am the author of a book called Your Fully Charged Life, and it is a radically simple approach to having endless energy and filling every day with yay. And in the love charge chapter of my book, I talk a lot about the importance of community and connecting with our neighbors and how that really contributes to our happiness. And so Nextdoor is mentioned in my book and has always really been an integral part of how I stay connected with my neighbors and feel connected to my community.
Now, February 17th was National Random Acts of
Mhm.
Kindness Day. Can you just talk a little bit about the meaning behind that day?
Sure. So I love the fact that there is a Random Acts of Kindness Foundation, which was started in 1995. And then 2004 in New Zealand, Random Acts of Kindness Day started. The guy was like sitting in traffic, witnessed some like terrible road rage, and thought to himself, we need a day dedicated to kindness. And Random Act of Kindness Day was born. It came to the States and we celebrate on February 17th. But frankly, every day should be Random Acts of Kindness Day. It's the one thing, kindness, it doesn't cost a penny and there's never enough of it.
Now, how did Nextdoor, the organization, kind of get involved with this? And can you just expand a little bit more about the organization in general?
Sure. So Nextdoor is the ultimate neighborhood network. You can download the Nextdoor app. So you go into your app store and you look for Nextdoor, the little green N. And what it does is it helps you connect with your community. So I have three kids. I'm very involved in the kids' school and the kids' sports and their activities. And I know those family members and I know those kids, but I might not necessarily know someone five families down if they had smaller kids, or I might not know the widow 2 blocks away. What Nextdoor does is it connects you with your entire zip code. It makes your community, bigger than your small circle and really becomes this hub. So it's a place that I go to connect with my neighbors, but to get restaurant recommendations, to find out, does anybody have a handyman? Uh-oh, somebody's missing a cat. It's really your neighborhood hub, and it allows you to connect with your community in a much bigger way than your personal circle.
And is this the app that you're talking about right now, the Nextdoor app?
Absolutely. So that's the Nextdoor app. I have it on my phone and I'm constantly scrolling, whether it's I need to donate a couch. Does anybody need a couch? Or I'm looking for someone to clean my gutters, or I want to find ways to give back. Is anyone doing any kind of a donation, a coat drive for the winter? Because I've got some coats that I'd love to donate. It really is my ultimate neighborhood network. I use the app nonstop. And through the Nextdoor community, we also practice something called neighbor care. So I'm sure you've heard of self-care, and that is this whole concept of we need to be good to ourselves. But at Nextdoor, we really believe we also need to be good to our neighbors. We did a survey and we found that being connected to as few as 6 people in your community, 6 neighbors, can help, ease anxiety and depression. It can help with loneliness. There's a loneliness epidemic in this country post-pandemic, and feeling a part of your community, connecting with your neighbors. I call it the love charge in my book. Being connected with your community is really a recipe for health and happiness.
Now, how can somebody practice neighbor care, on this day? But I mean, honestly, as you mentioned before, on any day, how can somebody, really prioritize
Exactly.
and practice neighbor care?
Well, the thing is that it doesn't have to be these grand, sweeping, massive gestures. It could be really, really simple. I mean, for me, it means I'm walking my dog and my phone is in my pocket. And instead, I'm making eye contact with people I pass by. I'm smiling. I'm saying hello, good morning. Maybe I'm giving a compliment. In my neighborhood, in my community, it means maybe I'm bringing someone's trash cans in. Maybe I'm taking their recycling out. My neighbor Larry tucked my packages under my awning in the rain the other day. That is an act of kindness. That is an act of neighbor care. It might mean you're making a batch of muffins. And you know what? I'm going to bring the extras across the street because you know what? Janice might need them, that she might love that sweet treat. What are these small ways that we could have a big impact in someone else's life?
Now, I really want to know, we're based in New York, especially in the Bronx. And New York sometimes have a reputation of not always being
Mhm.
the kindest, right? What are some ways people in highly populated cities or areas like New York City can participate in something like this?
Well, once again, it's these small things. It's really just recognizing someone's humanity, making eye contact, saying hello. A smile goes a long way. And I'll tell you, those smiles can be contagious. Think about the way your energy impacts someone else. If you walk into, a store and your head down, shoulders hunched, like a grimace on your face, that is impacting someone else's energy. Something as simple as being open and receptive to kindness, to giving someone a compliment. I like your shirt. Have a nice day. Can really, really go a very long way.
Right. And I think it's so funny. I think in New York sometimes we have like a best of both worlds here. So I'm really glad that you talked
Yeah.
about it. It's really is small things. It's not it doesn't have to be these grand gestures. So I'm so glad that you pointed that out. Now, outside of the feeling of doing something kind, sometimes, it feels amazing. It makes the other person feel good. But what are some of the actual benefits of just building relationships with people in your community?
Well, I call it, so I talk a lot about it in my book, and it's this power of weak ties. Not everybody has to be your mother in law, your best friend. You don't have to braid each other's hair or barbecue. It is simply recognizing people's humanity, realizing that we're connected to something bigger than ourselves. And that might mean, using the cashier's name tag at the grocery store and saying, "Hey, Ed, how you doing today? Have a nice day." Really just connecting on a very basic level with the people around you and inspiring a sense of community that we're all in this together.
Now, I understand there's a hashtag ask your neighbors. Can you talk a little bit more about the purpose of that hashtag?
Yes. So at Nextdoor, we have two. We have Ask Your Neighbors, which I love, but we also have a new hashtag that I'm super excited about, which is hashtag kind neighbor. So if you are doing good deeds, share and celebrate those good deeds on social media with the hashtag kind neighbor, because kindness is contagious. When I get that spark of an idea of like, oh, so and so did that, I might want to do that too. How can we emulate these good deeds and really amplify and celebrate the kindness in this world?
Now, I want to talk about different generations because I think it's so important.
Mhm.
Normally, when we think about being nice to our neighbor, we think of adults, right? But I want to know what are some ways that teenagers and kids can safely, extend random acts of kindness to maybe their
Sure.
peers, friends, and other family members?
So I have three kids. My kids are 12, 10, and 9. And something we do is called the Kindness Rocks Project. So we take stones and we paint them and we do inspiring messages. So maybe one says, you're stronger than you think you are. Maybe one says kindness counts. Maybe one's just a smiling butterfly. And we hide those rocks around our community for people to just find and have a moment of surprise and delight. It's a very small way to get younger people in on the action. I've had brownie troops paint a bunch of stones. I've had youth groups. I've had it done as a class project in the high school.
I really like that, and I definitely wanted to like make a point to say safely, right? Because it's like your child doesn't even have to interact with anybody, and they're still like making their day and putting
Exactly.
a smile on someone's face. So I think that's truly amazing.
It really is.
Now, I want to talk a little bit. I know that there's something that you guys have community guidelines, just in regards to the app then
Mhm.
and just this overall movement. Can you talk a little bit about those community guidelines? What are some things that people can do just to make sure that they're not overstepping any boundaries, but still practicing kindness?
I mean, it's just basic human consideration, right? I mean, you want to treat people online or on an app the same way you would treat them in real life, right? So it's really making kindness and positivity the central message and not really engaging in some of that negative banter.
Now, where can people find some inspiration and ideas for Random Acts of Kindness Day? I know now it's gone, but like we said, we wanted to keep going. So, what
Yeah.
are some things that people can do if maybe people in their community, their immediate community, doesn't really know about the day or anything? What can they do to start?
Yeah. I mean, it's very simple. Could you offer to shovel someone's snow or mow their lawn? Could you donate, school supplies or diapers to someone in need? Could you organize a local cleanup event or even just share a recipe? And bringing in people's mail or deliveries is wildly helpful. I even love this idea of going into the library, the local town library, making bookmarks and sneaking them in some of the books to surprise and delight somebody when they check out their book.
That's amazing. And just by speaking to you, I can see your energy is so, positive and light. And I think it's really nice that, we have people who prioritize kindness. Where does that stem from you? And, and why was this something that you kind of wanted to dig deeper into?
Listen, it feels good to do good. And sometimes I'm like, wow, I can't believe that I'm being pat on the back for doing this kind deed because I got to tell you, it feels really good to me. I mean, I think that's the bottom line is that it feels good to do good. And the more good you do, the more good you want to do.
All right. Well, Megan, thank you so much for joining me. And, talking about kindness, I feel a little bit happier already. So thank you so much.
Yay. Thank you.
To learn more about Nextdoor, please go to their website at www.nextdoor.com or follow them on Instagram at Nextdoor. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Open right after this.